You're running a million plus a year business.
We went from broke, barely make it to Kansas to, I guess you could classify us as millionaires.
Yeah, baby.
And
This is what we're gonna do.
by no means am I sitting here bragging.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
but
y'all.
I'm
definitely-
appreciative of
Yeah,
it, and so are
y'all-
you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Y'all definitely live within your means. There's nothing for you to show it.
I don't know what you got into. You.
I don't know what I got myself into.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
I'm a little bit of afraid.
All right, Steve. So let's go back. 5 years.
5 years.
5 years it's been. Made a video, and you commented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
and-
was
which is
you and your buddies in the lawn chair.
me
drinking.
and Fred and I think it was a Weston Chaplin video or something.
Mhm.
We were about half drunk out at the farm up against the fence. We had to fight the airplanes because we have an airport close to the house, and every time we'd start to talk, the airplane would fly
Yeah,
out.
every time.
And I had a GoPro that was just like trash.
Yeah, GoPro sucks.
It was trash.
I showed you some better cameras than a GoPro, didn't I?
Yeah, Steve's always had nicer cameras. But you made a comment, and it was like the only interaction that we got on our video, so we were like stoked. And I was like, made another comment, and I'll try to find them and post them. And then all of a sudden, we were friends on the interweb.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, friends on the interweb are not like friends in real person, though. You know, because
Yeah.
you don't want no stranger showing up to your damn house because you know,
Not
Exactly.
really.
we're buddies. I know everything about you. You
bunch-
don't know nothing about me.
Yeah, bunch of weirdos. You know?
So,
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, I ended up in Ohio. I drove up to see you, where I raided every toolbox drawer you had and everything in the garage.
Yeah, he did.
So it was,
Yeah.
it was.
That was hilarious.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think you have enough time to rate all my drawers now.
No, exponential growth. Holy smoke!
I had what two toolboxes in that garage. Now I have like 10.
You had a good sized toolbox in the garage back then, and then I'm pretty sure Laura thought I was out of my ever living mind when I showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She pretty well kept the kids in the house and away. Don't go out there. I don't know who's out there with your daddy.
No.
I'm sure slinging beer cans and cigarette butts. Yep.
Yep.
It was all good.
Well, Eddie was slinging the beer cans. I don't really drink that much.
No, you don't. I can't help it. You're not reached perfection level yet.
Well,
You'll be all right.
it depends. Like, okay, I'm not really a beer guy. I'm a liquor kind of guy.
Mhm. Yeah, I see you drink sometimes when you're at the campground and stuff
Yeah.
like that. When you're
Yeah.
out doing whatever,
Yeah.
you don't have the farmer habit where you like to drink beer every day after work.
No.
So
Sometimes. Summertime.
summertime.
Yeah.
So anyway, I raided your garage, and then we kind of kept in touch. And then later on, y'all came out for a week, came clear to Kansas,
Mhm.
16
Yes.
hours. It was hot as Hades.
It was very hot.
Hot as balls.
Yes. It was hot.
You're crammed in trailers.
It's a different
and-
kind of hot from here, though.
Yeah, it's really humid.
Our hot, yeah, it's way different.
It was a way different hot than what it
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
here.
it was triple digits almost every day.
Yeah.
And the kids, the boys, they had their toys with them, so they were out in the pasture riding every day.
Riding dirt bike.
And, yeah,
Yes.
we were-
Morning to what night, basically.
Yeah.
They just stopped to basically to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law, he sat out there
Not
for
even.
hours and watched them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They got up in the morning, stopped at the barn to get some chicken eggs for breakfast, dropped
Yeah.
them off,
Yes.
put their helmets on, started the bike. We're talking like 7 a.m.
It was
Yeah.
early.
And
They were
they're out
ready to
wake-
go.
Yeah, they're out waking up the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing it's just Bob and he's deaf, so.
Yeah.
And we were worried too because we're like, oh my
Dude, they
goodness,
was
they're
out-
ready to go
they was
as
out
soon
there.
as they got up.
Yeah, they was out there from the time the chickens were freaking roosting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
To-
were ready.
Yeah, sundown.
Yeah, and I never will forget. It was time to go to bed, and he could not hardly keep his head up.
No.
We're so tired.
And
So
he
tired.
wanted to go some more. Mom, no, you're going to bed. No, Mom, come on, Mom, let me go, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
They had
yeah.
such a blast. So we hung out for a week, and we pretty much kept in touch.
Mhm.
We bounced things around.
Yeah, we live 19 hours away.
Yeah, it's just
So
a
it's
short
rough.
trip.
Yeah.
Just a
yeah.
short one.
Yeah, it's a short
Yeah.
trip
Short, yeah.
and not expensive at all.
No.
Not at all.
And
At all.
was our
Well, the problem is the time that you have that you can hang out, you spend it in driving.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time that you had, you're coming back because,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of bad part about having a business. You
Yeah.
can't go too far for too long.
Mm-mm.
You know, I got good employees. They can handle the ship here,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody handles what me and her do. And what me and her do is what make the wheels go round.
Yeah. At
And
the end of the day, the buck stops with y'all.
yeah, it does. And until I can find somebody that knows what I know, and you know, even I say that about Laura because knows what she knows because she learned from me.
Mm-hmm.
Until we can find people to take over our position, and which don't get me wrong, we're never gonna find somebody, have them take over, and then us disappear.
Yeah, it's not
We're
gonna
always
happen.
gonna be here. We're always gonna be, but it'd be nice to have that little bit of cushion where somebody else can do what you can do,
Mm-hmm.
and you can trust them to do it. Because the minute that I lose faith in you, your ass is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm very strict about my business, my employees, and making sure my customers are taken care of.
They're number one.
And you know, I say it all the time. I feel like I'm the only one in this industry, the CF Moto industry, you know, that does what we do.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that don't know half of. I can tell you every nut, bolt, nook, cranny, wire connector, fuse. I can tell you part numbers for pistons, jugs. It's all in my catalog here, but a lot of years.
A lot of years. Well, you've been doing a lot of years. And then, what, you started YouTube 7 years ago?
2017.
So
I was the first.
25.
I was the first ever YouTuber that I'm aware of. I searched because when we bought her 2017 500, I couldn't find no videos.
There wasn't
on
anything.
Nothing. And that's when I told her, I'm like, it's not that it's not that I ever disliked the camera. I just didn't know how to act on the camera.
You still don't know how to.
I still don't know how to act. Well, there's a difference. Back then, I was sort of afraid for people to be like, oh, look, he's fat. And I get that. I get, oh, he's fat. Oh, he's got a gap between his teeth. But yeah, I learned over the years, just tell them that their mom don't complain about my gap. So
Well, at least you got teeth still. It could be
that's
worse.
true. That's true. And now I developed I don't give up.
Like you
You
got
know?
like a shell. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't bother you.
No, and like Whistling Diesel, watching Whistling Diesel, I love that dude.
Yeah.
You know, what he does, and he does, a lot of people hate him for what he does, but at the same time, as he grew and got richer, I'm just going to say it flat out, as that dude grew and got richer, he started doing a lot of good. You know, he just helped out that girl with their Dodge.
Right.
truck.
That was an awesome video.
I think Cody
Yeah.
genuinely is good at heart.
Good dude. He just makes content.
I think
yeah.
it would be from the surface to me. It looks like it would be incredibly hard to work for him.
Oh, I'm sure. Because he's go,
he
go, go, go,
is
go.
driven,
Yes.
and he wants people that are gonna. And he probably pays his people exceptionally
I
well.
you know, I don't know him. I never met him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care if I ever do. It'd be cool, but I don't. You know, I don't fanboy over him. You know what I'm saying? But you can judge a character by the way they act, and I've watched enough Whistling Diesel videos to almost sit here and guarantee you that he pays his people well. Because if you
I'm
look,
sure he does.
yeah, and if you look, he's not flip flopping through people.
No, he's got a pretty good core group, and I'm sure he's probably, you know, if you're not gonna fit, you're probably out pretty quick.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And you don't get front row seats
Yeah.
to anything
No.
until we figure out who you are.
No.
But back to what I was saying though was, you came back after you came to visit, and we of course we talk YouTube all the time. We still do. We talk YouTube. We talk money. We talk kids. We talk more YouTube.
Everything.
And so
I think Eddie's the only one that knows what my bank account looks like.
yeah. I'm not gonna share that. I'll tell you about that later. But so at the time, we was all pretty well broke. I mean, we was broke. At least we
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, all of us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of extra
No.
money. The trip coming out to our place was like, let's not have anything go wrong. We'll
Yep.
cook at the
That's-
house.
Exactly.
You know,
Dude, I couldn't afford.
were
a tow,
loaded
I couldn't afford
down.
a tow truck, bro. I had to push that truck back
yeah.
home.
And so, I mean, and it was an awesome time. Everything worked out. You came back, went back to turning wrenches at your old job.
Yep.
Yeah.
for car.
Made a few more videos along the way.
Yeah.
And then one day, Steve calls me and says, I got fired. And I'm like, what'd you do now, Steve? And he's like, I got fired. Then people, and whatever happened, happened. And then you said, I'm going to figure this YouTube thing out. And I thought, oh my God, Laura's going to kill him.
Yeah, she
Here we
wasn't
go.
thrilled.
And then
wasn't
I was like, I know he can do it. I know he can do it.
Dude, we were.
But I was
We were
like,
scared.
How long would it take? I mean, when he said that, what did you think?
I was scared. I honestly was. But it was like if he didn't try it, we would never know.
You'd never know.
We would
And
never know if we didn't try it.
That's kind of the thing. So when I lost my job, the only reason I lost my job is because I wouldn't work till 5 o'clock.
Because you wouldn't shut up either.
Oh, probably. I have a mouth, dude. I tell people how it is, and some people don't like it. But we had an agreement when I first worked there, and I go there. I do business with them.
Still to this
Still
day.
to this day. I was just there the other day. They got my big RV out there for sale and everything. It didn't work out, you know. But they needed me to work till 5 o'clock, and I couldn't. She worked nights, and by the time she had to leave. You had
We
to leave
just
at
like pass each other basically.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was getting out of there. I was skating out of there at like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to work till 4, but I worked my butt off to get my work done. And if I was done, I mean, they didn't really care. Go home. But we were getting to a point where they were trying to drum up more business, stay open later, and I get it. And they wanted me to work till 5 o'clock, and I couldn't. It wouldn't work for us. And I just told him, and which when I first got hired there, the owner and I had that agreement, like, hey, because by the time we would pay a babysitter,
It was too much.
one of us might as well not even go to work.
Oh, I know. Babysitters
So
are
expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like we were making banger money
No,
either.
Right, no.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, I was making $20 an hour at the time. She was making like 10,
Yeah, I wasn't
11
making very much.
when I first started there, and then over the years, I think
and I moved up a little
yeah,
bit more.
she moved up to like 14 or 15. And so it became a little more easier, but you go years and years, she's working nights, we're not seeing each other, I'm watching the kids at night, you know. So for them to have to go to a babysitter for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week,
wasn't worth it.
it's not worth it. So I ended up telling them, listen, I can't. You got to do what you got to do, you know. And they were like, well, it just, you know, it is what it is. So I was kind of dumbfounded because we were in debt up to our freaking
We had a lot of
eyeballs.
debt.
You know, I had my truck payment.
I still have my Kia payment.
She still had her Kia payment. We had the house payment. We had our insurances. I think at that time I had 3 or so machines, CF Motos. All of those had payments. The RV, not the RV.
The camper.
These guys are longtime followers. They know what
Right.
RV I'm
Yes.
talking about. I still had that up until not long ago, and that had a payment. Now that payment was $100 a month, so it was a little more
It
to
wasn't
squeeze.
too bad.
A little easier. I just recently traded it for that side by side I built, which a lot of these guys they see
know.
it. They know.
Your people will know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my people will know. So the thing about it is we're living paycheck to paycheck, and we never got welfare, food stamps, grubs, none of that. We never got grub stubs, bro. We didn't even have free health care insurance.
We did what we had to do.
Which I'm fine with that. I'm all about paving my own way. But and I'm sure, honestly, we probably could have got it, but we never did. Now, am I saying I never did in my life? No, I have. And way before I met her, I had, you know, food stamps, free health care and stuff, because it was just me and whatever. But anyway, we didn't have none of that. We didn't have no help. And I knew that I would get unemployment, so I wasn't totally like hurt, you know, about it.
I'm sure you had a massive amount in savings at the time,
No.
right?
No, we
No.
didn't. We really
No,
didn't.
I think I had a massive amount of pennies in the kitchen drawer.
Yeah, that Jarek likes to go through.
So
Dave
It-
Ramsey would not approve.
right,
See?
and it just actually, honestly, at that time I was selling like my clutch kits and stuff. So I was like, here and there, like a couple people wanted them. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, and from my perspective, like, where did this clutch kit come from? How did it get there?
We'll
What did
get
it
into
do?
that.
Yeah, but I was dumbfounded because I was like, okay, because my thought at the time, because you have small brain thinking a long time until you expand your way of thinking, and so my thought was, I was like, damn, Steve, you got to get that subscriber count up. You got to
Yeah.
get that AdSense.
Yeah,
Come
'cause
on,
I
you
was
got to
at-
get it. You got to get another sponsorship, Steve.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
something,
And
yeah.
I'm watching in the background, thinking, come on, Steve.
and
let's
I did.
Go.
I had some sponsors along the way.
Yeah, you did.
And they sort of become competition along the way, but even competition aside, I still tried to work with them, and it just you got. This is a whole different topic for a whole
Right.
different
Yeah.
day.
that's not really the point. I mean,
No.
you picked up a few sponsorships here and there, but from the sidelines at least, it looked like okay, we've been at this about 6 months, Steve, and
Yeah.
I'm pulling for you, buddy. Let,
Yeah.
Yeah.
do something.
Well, back to how this happened, and as it stands today, I have hundreds of opportunities of sponsorships come in my email every day. But thankfully to my followers and people who buy our product, we don't have to spam our videos all the freaking time with.
Right, and I think a lot of that has the most value for your dollar comes from your
Yeah.
own advertising for your own
Yeah.
company because
Now-
of where your videos are.
Yeah. Now the podcast, that does my videos for the off road. I depending upon what it is, I'll put it out there. Very rarely, and a lot of times I take sponsorships. I just take the free product. Because I want to say what I want to say. And a lot of, I'm not going to throw a company on blast. If there's an issue, like I reach out to them, we see how we can resolve it, then I make a video. And half the time, I don't even mention that issue because, let's face it, well, we talked about it in yesterday's podcast.
Right, yeah.
You spend $2 or $1 million, something out there has some
Oh, absolutely.
problems.
So,
But, yeah.
so during the first 6 months, did it make you crazy?
Well, no.
Not you.
It didn't
Not
even
you.
take that long.
Oh, no.
So it took like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So when I come home and told her I got fired, on my way home, I was stopping at shops to put in applications. And I had a few shops call me.
You went on a couple interviews,
And I went on
too.
a few interviews, and they just didn't match my style. And I was like, nah. I told her, I was like, either we're going to go broke, and we're going to lose it all, and we'll start over.
Yeah.
I was like, we got an RV we can live in. That thing's $100 a month. I can shit $100 a month. So I told her, I was like, this is it. I'm tired of working for people. I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm tired of working and being drugged down. Not all employers are bad, but there's a lot of them that they don't recognize what you do for them.
Right, and even
So-
good employers, you still reach that point of burnout. Where
Yeah,
you get,
yeah, you do.
You know,
You
you
do.
know you're being treated
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, you
but
do.
at the same time, you're like, geez, here we
That's
go
like my
again.
employees here. You hung out all day yesterday.
Yep.
You seen what we do. You seen the amount of inventory that comes in and goes out. And you seen where I bought everybody lunch, which I do that
frequently.
almost daily. And you seen Addie down there. She would take a bite pack. And I was like, put that package down.
Yep.
Sit down, take your time. And I give everybody as long as they need. There's no 30-minute, there's no 15-minute, there's no hour. If you need 45 minutes, if you need an hour and a half, and it's paid, what I want them to do is I want them to clear their plate and come back to their job with a clear mind. Take your time. But she's one of them people that's been in the industry where you rush. So it's going to take me a little bit to break her. And like Tiffany had mentioned, you don't want to make people lazy. You don't. You don't want to make people lazy, but you you want them to enjoy coming to work.
Right. I mean, everybody makes the age-old quote that, "Oh, we're all family here." Well, no, because tomorrow the family's not going to mourn my loss and stop
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Right.
This thing's going to keep on going. People
Yeah.
are still going
Right.
to make orders. So, you know, it has to be some sort of enjoyment when you come in. Even
Right.
if, even low-paying jobs,
And, you know,
if they were more enjoyable, people would
business-
probably turnover go down.
Oh, yeah.
Friendship's a friendship, business is business.
Gotta keep it separate.
Absolutely.
It's separate, but at the same time, technically, Addie is sort of not related to me, but she's my son's aunt. So, Tiffany, a total stranger, not now, obviously.
Right.
But her husband did some work with me way back in the beginning when this all started. Her husband did some business with me, and then one day I was looking for somebody, and he's like, "Hey, I live right across the street," which I didn't know that. They live right over there. And so she come in and been an awesome fit. She's been here almost a year, or has been a year, or maybe
Almost
a little
a year,
over.
I
I don't
wanna
remember.
say.
But she has a key to my shop. She has the alarm code. She earned it. And
Right.
we go over there. They go camping with us. They go riding with us. We go to their house, have parties. I don't want to say like parties, like party, but
Right.
it's an old people party.
Yeah.
But we do things with our employees, and they do things with us. And when I take them camping, it's all paid for. I pay for it. So, I've been blessed in my life. Obviously, those people that's been following me for a long time, they know. And so, if I have it in my bank account and I can afford to share, I'm sharing.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've always been good natured.
Yeah.
But but like I said, when he wasn't working and he was buying stuff, did it make you nervous?
Oh, dude, I bought that U-Force XL.
Yep.
Yeah, she wasn't. This was in the beginning. So back to, we kind of veered off, but back to when I got fired, I applied for unemployment, and they approved me, and I got in 2 checks.
Had to pay it back.
Had to pay it back.
Yep, had to pay it back.
So I didn't get any unemployment. I paid all my life into unemployment, and I got it. I got approved for it. And the thing is, when I applied, I also applied for an LLC.
So you
When
shot
I
yourself
applied
with
for
a
that
foot.
LLC, and when I called them, because I had it, you put it in on the computer, then you have an over the phone interview. And I told them, I said, listen, I started an LLC. I said, I'm making about $100 a week. And they're like, oh, that's no problem as long as you got paper trail that, And then whenever you file your unemployment every week, just put that $100 and we'll deduct that from what you are getting. And I'm like, okay, cool. So there was some weeks where I would go, just about where my unemployment would be, so I wouldn't get any unemployment. So I filed for 6 weeks. I got 2 checks, and they sent me a letter. Hey, dude, we're going to need that back. And I'm like, this ain't good timing. This ain't good timing, because me paying that back, there was a couple of bills that didn't get paid, because you know what? I'd rather them come shut the lights off. I got a generator. I don't want the government coming in.
Yeah, not the
So
available,
Yeah, no.
shut the lights off, shut the water off. We got a creek down the road. I got a generator in the garage. Pay the people back.
Yeah.
No.
But
Anyway, it took about literally 2 weeks, and I started really coming up. And I was the first guy to have Clutch Kids do clutch stuff with Sea of Moto. I might not have been the first guy that started like advertising, but I was the first guy in the Sea of Moto realm. And I have competitors who claim that they're first at everything. But I literally have proof. I can back myself up. I can go back. I can point out a video where I said, hey, if you want a clutch kit, message me. I'll hook you up, but there was no website. There was no RNG Performance.net. There was no, dude, this was PayPal and Facebook. And I would sell a couple, and then sometimes I wouldn't, because I just didn't want to. I was too focused with my job and working on cars, and I'd come home all stressed out and just didn't want to deal with the other stuff. And then on top of that, I was making videos that I couldn't even afford to make. And, you know, truth be told, half the videos, half the stuff that I have done over the years was give to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I filmed it all with an iPhone 6S
I think that's
or
what
a
it was.
5 or something.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you could tell I'm standing there talking to the camera. Like, I don't know. I definitely changed
You
things.
were a newbie. You were definitely a newbie.
Yeah.
Everybody
Then I
starts
We were
somewhere.
watching some of those clips the other
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
and that was hysterical.
It was.
And then, so I know I'm putting this on the internet, but it's a little too late for them to even do anything to me now. But, so when we worked out of our house, I snuck people into my house, my garage, and was working on stuff. And we live in a city. You're not allowed to do that. So this is funny. This is true story. And Laura will remember, I'm sure. We had just got the keys and started working in this building. And I got a letter from the city about my business that I was running out of my house. So I called because they wanted me to call him, and I called him, and he's like, yeah, I did a little research, and he's like, I can't prove you were doing it. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, well, there's an LLC at your house. I said, that's just the billing. That's just that's where where I handle all my bills go, my mail. And so he was like, I'm just letting you know. He's like, I don't care how many machines you got. You can stack them floor to ceiling, wall to wall. But you can't be working on stuff out of your garage unless you own it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the internet trolls didn't help.
Oh, you know what, dude?
No.
I've had the city, not the city here, but the township. I've had the township here because people. But you know what? I know laws. I read up on laws, and I will not do a thing to break a law on camera.
On camera.
So, burnouts. I mean, we do burnouts and stuff, but that's just a reckless driving ticket.
Yeah.
So,
Well, not today. It was inside. So
Today
it's
was
a little hard to
inside.
get a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try
Just a
not to
little
do that
bit.
stuff, but let's face it, we all break some sort of little tiny.
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
out doing pew stuff at the bank,
No, you don't
So-
want to do that.
No.
I'm earning my money. She's earning her money.
Yeah, for
Our
sure.
money. This is our business.
For sure.
It might be mine, but it's ours. Both names are tied,
Yeah.
What I own is hers, and what she owns is hers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but back to my question. When he bought the U-Force, what did you think?
Oh yeah. So
No.
So he sold Roxy because we didn't have enough room.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when we went riding, the kids weren't able to ride with us. We'd have to take 2 separate machines. So we got rid of Roxy, which really made me sad, but he ended up getting the U-Force, and I was all excited for it, but we were,
it
it
was
was
tight.
just, it was a lot. It
was
was a lot
tight.
because he wanted to do a lot to it to
I
make
did-
it a big, showpiece in that.
I didn't even have the
So-
money to make the payment,
Yeah,
but
but we did it.
I talked to her and I said, listen, because that goes back to where I said this is either going to go or blow. And I was ready. If I was losing it all, I was going down deep, So I'd worked hard getting my credit up and over the years and everything. And I said, let's go. And I put 3,000 down on that.
I think you did. I don't remember the exact amount.
I
but
think
you
I
did.
put 3,000 down on it.
Whatever we got from Roxy, I think is what we put down.
Well,
some of it or something.
I sold Roxy for 8. So this is what we did. I talked to her and told her, I was like, listen, we need to do this. We need to do this. And at the time, the U-Force was a hot thing.
Hot item.
I said, listen, let's sell Roxy. Because what I was doing, we were paying our bills with other stuff. I said, let's sell Roxy. Because I had a subscriber that had been on my tail for a few years to buy. And I sold it for $8,000. It was only worth 3, 4. trade-in at the dealer. So
Right, but there are a lot of parts.
But there was a lot of
Right,
upgrades
right,
and everything. So.
right. But you know, upgrades don't make the value. You know.
No, but to somebody else, it
But
does.
to somebody else who followed my channel and they seen that I rebuilt that thing ground up, and then there was nothing wrong with it. I'm turning it into an EX. We did all that stuff. Well, they offered me 65, and then I told them 8, thinking that they were going to tell me 7, and I was going to settle on 7, but they gave me the 8. They come and got it. I took 3 of that and put it down on the XL. The rest of it, I did videos with the Super ATV high clearance control arms and all that stuff. Speaking of which, RNG Performance.net. We can get all that
Shameless
stuff.
plug.
Shameless
Man.
plug.
Sitting under your own time.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Anyway, so I did all that. Hester really worked with me. Hester's a good friend of mine, John Hester at Hester's Motorsports. He's a good friend of mine. Never met him in my life, but I talk to him all the time. I help him with YouTube stuff sometimes. You know, I made some thumbnails for him and shit. Just I help people. I don't care if is he really a competitor of mine? Yeah. You know, who cares? I don't care. The world's big enough. But anyway, good dude of mine. He does the shocks, the custom Elka shocks.
Yeah, I
Best
remember that.
ever.
And
shocks.
He hooked me up like he knew the struggle was real and he knew what I was trying to do. And he hooked me up. I'm not going to say what he did for me.
No.
But
Right.
I can tell you right now, he hooked me up.
He did.
And
Good guy.
good dude, and he's done that twice for me. I built that thing, and then the channel just kind of like I can't say I thought it would because I thought it wouldn't. And it did. It just kept going and going and going, and then next thing you know, I'm shipping parts every day. I'm running everything: the phone, my personal cell phone, my Messenger, my email, my Facebook's blowing up.
He was doing everything.
It got to a point where I had to go get another line because too many people have my personal number. Too many people have my personal number now. It's just my phone stays on silent and I don't answer it.
Right.
Like you want me, call 330-806-0728. Plug.
Shameless plugs.
Don't call my cell phone number. And some people have it and they'll text me, and sometimes I'll sit there and I'll go, yeah, I'm bored. I'll write this guy back. No offense, but that's my personal number. So now my personal phone number has become a business number, and now the phone number that I had gotten, which was another cell phone number, it is now our phone system here. It's not even a cell phone anymore.
Yep.
It's our phone system here. And then I took that phone, changed the number, and that's my personal number.
Yeah.
And it sits on the table dead.
Yeah, I bet it does, because your phone goes off a lot.
Right.
does.
Yeah. So
But you ran along at the house after that. It was kind of like you got the U-Force,
yeah.
and then you started with the Elko shocks.
Yep. And then
Yep.
the
And then the clutch kits.
clutch kits.
Best
Yep.
to my recollection
clutch
was
kits.
when the clutch kits kind of took off at that point.
Well, the
also.
clutch
The
kits-
word of mouth, I think, too. Just everybody getting them.
I was doing the clutching back in 2018.
Right.
And all my other competitors, they didn't come around until like 19 or 20 with the clutches.
20 seemed to be the battle of the clutches.
It was. So it's not really a battle anymore. People know we're on top.
No, you can see that just about on any forum.
Yeah,
anymore.
we're on top of the game. There's no battle, and then people who do buy the competitor stuff, then they have the problems exactly what I've shown in my videos. They're buying our clutch too, so
Twice as much money to do it right the second
yeah,
time.
they could have just came to the right spot the first time. But I've been doing clutching far before CF Moto ever hit the
Right.
market. I started with CF Moto in 17, and then I started playing with the clutches in 18, and then you could find me in the groups kind of helping people out just randomly, nilly-willy, and then it just 2019, 2020, 2021, now we're here.
Yeah, I mean it was like all of that came together at one time.
Yeah.
In the fact that this is another lesson that I think we see more frequently, especially in the content creator community, the subscriber count might not be that high,
Yeah.
but the word of mouth from a product or a service that you have
Yeah.
drives it to an insane amount of money. I mean,
Well-
your volume is over the millions of dollars
Yeah.
annually.
Yes.
And so, but you're what, 55,000 subscribers, 60,000 subscribers?
Yeah, I'm 55,000 on YouTube. I think I'm almost 50,000 on Facebook. TikTok, I don't do a lot on. X or Twitter or whatever. I don't do anything. Instagram, I have one. I don't do anything. I don't care about the subscribers. It'd be nice if you smash that button, hit that like button, and
Another
comment it
plug.
down below.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so between all that, let's just say between the two platforms, even though I'm sure that there's instances where they're the same people,
Yeah.
we'll call it 100, 125,000 subs altogether.
right, and
But
some
you're
are-
running you're running $1 million plus a year business.
we went from broke, barely make it to Kansas to, I guess you could classify us as millionaires.
Yeah, I mean, if you base it on volume, yeah, and I mean, I've seen the numbers.
I have.
I've seen the
400
numbers, and you know, it's
I did. I
just-
showed
mean,
you. I don't
yeah.
show no one my bank account. I
Right.
showed you one of the 3 bank accounts that I have.
Right, but I'm saying, you know, when back then when Steve said, "Hey, baby,
And
this is what we're gonna do."
by no means am I sitting here bragging.
No,
No.
absolutely not. I mean,
But I am-
y'all.
I'm
definitely-
appreciative of
Yeah,
it, and so are
y'all-
you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Y'all definitely live within your means. There's nothing for you to show anybody.
And
No.
the thing
And
is,
I mean, you know,
we're
you're
able to
stacking
do
it
that.
up.
Yep, we're able to do that, and we're still able to call ourselves a small mom and pop shop because we are. It's just the difference between our small mom and pop shop and the small mom and pop shop down the road here. Ours, we sell parts globally. They sell
Parts
who
globally.
walks in. So that's the difference. And the struggle is very, very real with the amount of volume that we push daily.
Oh yeah.
My wife handles all the messages, almost all. Like, so we split everything 50-50. She's like 90% the phone. She's like 80% the Facebook. And I'm like 99% on the emails. And then the rest of the Facebook that she, like, literally it has to go through me because she doesn't know the answer and only I do. It goes through me. So we handle it. And we handle every single customer, whether they spent money, not
Or
going to
not.
spend money, not spending money. We don't care if they're spending money. We built this business on helping people, and we're going to continue to thrive by helping people. There's too many businesses out there. Too many that's, oh, yeah, it's not worth $5 to me. And here I am. I'm doing it free. So, and then I get some people that are like, they complain because some of my products are a little more expensive than other places. And a lot of my products, honestly, are cheaper. But you're always going to have them couple items that might
Yeah.
be a little bit more money. But let me tell you the difference between me and the other guys. So some of my products come from a guy in his garage. That's where I started. And we built our business around selling products as much as we can. We support this hat, small guy at his house, trying to make a living. Like our exhaust tips, small guy at his house, trying to make a living. Our air filters, I don't want to say a small guy in his garage at his house, but he's a medium guy at his garage in his house. So we try to support the small dudes because there's too many big dudes running out the small dudes. So sometimes it's $1, $2, $3, or $4, or $10 extra, depending upon what the product might be. That's the difference between me and big brother over there, you know. And another thing that takes into consideration is volume. The more volume you buy, the better the price, which everybody that buys stuff from me knows if I get the volume and I get a price break, I pass it to them. Do I or do I not? Just like the
You do.
belts. We beat the dealers on the belts by almost $100.
Wow.
Same belt
Yep.
with our part number. Same belt, same manufacturer. And then there's, I have competitors that are telling customers that my belt is not a legit Mitsubishi belt, and it is. I can back it up. So, and if they keep saying that, I'm going to reach out to the guy that I deal with Mitsubishi, and maybe we'll just get him on a podcast. Because then they'll feel really salty, and then the customer that they lied to isn't going to do business with a liar. So,
well, I think it's a little bit intimidating too, and that other $100 is probably their profit on top of it. I mean, that's icing on the cake because they have the bigger overhead too.
I know what the dealers pay for those CF Moto belts, and I know what they sell them for. I can tell you right now, if they really wanted to, they could beat my pricing. At where it's at now, they couldn't totally beat it because I have a bigger markup margin than them. They have a bigger profit margin than me because of how much they're selling them for. But I have a bigger markup margin, and so if they wanted to, they could beat my pricing. But then I would just go and I would beat them until they couldn't even sell the belt anymore. So that's not a good game to play. I keep my belts fair, reasonable, and I'm not profiting 400% on them. And I'm by no stretch of the imagination am I beating up on every dealer, because there's good dealers out there that do not do this.
Yeah.
So, but and it's not just dealers, it's parts stores.
It's everywhere.
Parts stores
Everywhere.
are the worst.
Yeah. When I was an automotive technician, I could get an alternator for $100, and I had to sell it to the customer for $4. Well, when I worked for the last place I got fired from, he wasn't like that. He'd tell me, "Listen, Steve, put $50 on that." So I'd pay $100. I'd charge a customer $150. We made $50 on the alternator, and then I charged them however long to put it in.
Right.
Not every alternator can you get for $100. So don't be
No.
going thinking your BMW alternator is $100, because it's not.
No.
I'm talking like a old school Chevy or Ford, now Fords are a little more pricey. They might have changed in the 4 years I've been out, but I put a Ford alternator on my mom's truck. My cost was $230, and they wanted me to sell it to the customer. AutoZone wanted me to sell it to the customer for like $550, $600. It was my mom, so I gave it to her for what it cost me. But but my boss, had that not been my mom, we would have put $50 on it.
And passed it along.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which I will say that is what I liked working for them. I liked about them is they would be very, very reasonable and that's what I do here, as much as I can.
So
Yep.
when he was at home,
Driving
and
her
you'd have
nuts.
to go to work. What were your thoughts?
Whenever he was at home and I was working wise?
Yeah, when he was at home playing, megastar YouTuber before he was somebody.
Really didn't bother me too much. I was just excited for him, seeing what he was doing and everything,
Well, and
So
truth be told, and I'll let her tell the story after I mention it. She went to work for like a year longer than she even had to.
yeah, I did.
I was gonna ask.
I did.
Because I know you were working at Amazon.
And I was really afraid, and I was like, "Honey, are you sure? Like, I
kept
want to
telling
make
her,
sure
"Quit."
that we're okay." But the funny thing is the Amazon, they offered these 1 days that they were like days they had too many people working, and you could automatically you could just
this
take
worked
it
out
off,
good.
right? So there was a point where I would be off work, like every night it would show up on my phone or whatever. I'd take off.
It was 3 months straight.
There was like almost 3 months straight that I took off, so I wasn't getting paid, but I was paying my insurance and stuff I get. But then he told me, he's like, "Do you realize you haven't been to work?" He's like, "I think we're gonna be okay." So
did.
finally, I was like, "Okay."
That's
I'll do
what
it.
got her to.
Yeah.
That's the kicker that got her to kick in gear,
Yeah.
because I kept telling her, I'm like, 'Cause she was worried this is new. It could crash tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, like I was
and it
scared.
still could.
I literally
it still
was.
could.
It could.
Anybody's
Right.
But-
business could crash tomorrow. You know, America's not doing too hot at the moment. But anybody's business could crash the next day. And I told her, I said, listen, look at where we came from and went. And I was in this building, and she was still working. And I'm like, listen, you need to just quit that job. Because she was saying that they were trying to make her do some heights. She's not a height person.
Oh yeah, that's because I transferred
and
to
I
the
said,
other one.
I said, you walk in there, and I said, you tell them no.
Yeah.
And I said, when they fire you, you just come and clock in here.
Yeah.
And
Well, and before that, I was also, whenever I was at Amazon doing midnights, I would come home and I would take the packages as well.
Yeah, she did.
So I
She
was
helped me,
not.
yeah.
I would do that, and then I'd go
Right.
back to work. So,
but then
was
it just
one of those.
Amazon had moved to a new facility over here, and like on the app, like she said, it come up like X amount of spaces for
Yes.
people that, and you had to be like it was.
You had to be quick because it
You had
would
to
come
be
through.
quick because it went to everybody. And so they would come through, and she'd be looking at me. Should I take that? I'm like, yeah, take it, because it didn't count against you. And
No,
you,
it didn't.
You don't get paid, but your vacation hours still rack up, and your
Yeah.
insurance is still paid
Because
for.
you're still there.
I said, well, take it. It's not going to hurt us any. So this is funny because it ended up 3 months, every day of those 3 months, she'd get up in the morning and click, click, click. And she would click those things, and she would come here and help me. And then, so I just told her one day, I was like, haven't you realized 3 months has went past and all of our bills is paid and we're doing all right? You don't need to go there anymore. You don't need to go be a slave. And so the funny part about it is all 3 months, she collected like 2 weeks of vacation pay and didn't work a freaking second. And I kind of felt bad about it, but they're the ones that had that.
That's
It's
their
their
Had
program.
system.
yeah, they had it available.
So when she quit, they sent her a check for 2 full weeks of.
For a vacation.
Yeah.
You've been on vacation for
Oh,
3
yeah.
months. That's what you call living right.
Yeah,
Living right.
I call that.
So-
I call that God looking after you.
Yeah, so I remember you called and said you was going to look for a shop, and I was thinking, oh, Steve, you finally got a little underneath you. Come on, man, do you really want a shop? And Steve's like, oh, yeah, I need a shop. I gotta have room and everything else. And then he called and said, I found me a shop. It's going to be awesome. I was like, all right, go get it, Steve. Steve, are you sure about that, Steve? And Steve's like, oh, yeah, we got to figure it out. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, when he said he was going to go to a shop, what did you think?
Again, it was just one of those things. Either we were going to sink or we were going to
Yeah.
fail. That was just one of
We-
the things. And we needed space because our house was a complete inventory. Like you could barely get around anything. So we needed the space. We needed it.
We walked in here, and our landlord is freaking.
He's awesome.
Best-
Awesome guy.
Best landlord a man could ever have. We walked in here, and he's showing us the building. I'm like,
This is big. This is huge.
This is big. I'm like, what am I
Yeah,
gonna do
it
with
It's
this?
huge.
It is.
Huge.
And I asked him, he's like, it's 17,000 square foot. And I was like, oh, dude. So we moved our whole house in here. We'll go back in a sec. We'll go back in time in a minute. We moved our whole house in here, and it took up this much.
Mm-hmm. We barely
this
had,
much of a
like
building.
there was a ton of space left.
You moved all
Yeah.
the inventory.
yeah,
from the
our
house.
inventory,
Yeah.
not our
Yeah.
personal stuff.
No,
Right.
no.
So, but I'm talking to the landlord, and I'm like, "What are you thinking?" And he told me I'm not gonna say
Right,
No.
right.
numbers, but he told me monthly cost, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do that. I can definitely do that. That's doable." And I said, "What kind of lease term do you want?" He's like, "Well, typically I do a 5-year lease," and I said, listen, I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't think I'm a good fit. And I'm going to tell you why. And I told him our story and what happened. And he goes, dude, that's badass. I'll do a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, "You'll do a year?" I was like, "Cause I told him, I said, I can guarantee you, if 6 months from now something happens,
I can
I
let
can
you know."
guarantee you the other 6 months of rent. I have it in my bank account, and which I saved until I had.
He did.
Well, it depending upon the building, but with this building, I had 1 year is worth of rent in my bank account. So I knew I had 1 year to grow it or blow it. So I told him that. I said, listen, I said, I know it's a gamble. I said, you don't know me. I don't know you. And I said, it's completely up to you. I said, no hard feelings if you say no, because you're in business to make money. He has rental properties all over, and that's what he does for a living. So you're messing with dude's food on his table. And I told him, I was like, I can guarantee you a year. I said, I'm not going to trash the place. I'm not that guy. You know, I'll give you a deposit, whatever. You can keep it, you know. He charged me just first month's rent. Didn't even told me not to worry about the deposit. We signed a 1 year lease. That lease has been up long ago, and he's just like, just letting it go. He comes in
Well,
here.
it probably has an auto renew clause in it, so.
No, it becomes month to month after a year. I would sign a 5-year lease now, you know, but he comes in here. He's seen because we fixed this place.
Oh,
up.
it's a totally different
He
building.
comes
from
in
what
here.
it
He's
was.
like, wow, that looks good. Wow, you did that. Wow, we put all the LEDs in. This building had lights, but they were the halogen ones, and 98%
You could barely
of them
even
didn't
see.
work. Yeah.
1980s on
Yeah,
on the
Yeah,
top
real
there.
I
old.
think I've sunk $100,000 into this building,
Easy.
easy, and it's not even my building. But you know what? I don't care. If he benefits off of us when we do, if we do leave, if he benefits from some of the work, I don't care. You know why? Because I benefited off of him being a great guy.
Exactly.
Gotta
And
pay
that's the
it-
thing.
gotta pay
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you got the shop and you got everything, and then was there, and as the bank accounts grew, was there?
The bank account didn't grow; it shrunk.
Yeah.
It shrunk when we got
Well,
in here.
you know what I mean in general.
Yeah.
I mean when you, and then everything worked out after you got in here, and then as things went on, did you ever have a moment of reckoning where you just kind of looked around and thought, holy shit,
Every day,
Every day.
you know, like I can't believe we got here.
every day, every day. I tell the employees, I'm like, I'm proud of you guys. Like, I can't believe this, because truth be told, without my employees, we wouldn't make it. I mean, me and her, we can handle our own, but we'd have to go back to our house. And when I got this building, I only had one employee, and then like my cousin Ronnie, he was working for the car lot, but then he was calling off at the car lot to come work for me, and I was paying him and helping him out, and he did a lot of he built all this stuff. Like he's done some stuff here. And like I'd tell him, Ronnie, I don't have enough money for you this week. You're gonna have to go work at the car lot. And that, because I had one full-time employee that I really had to look out for and make sure she was paid.
And we always did.
Yeah, and we always did. There was not one time that I was never able to pay an employee. There might have been some mishaps where I forgot to put payroll through. And I just, listen, your check is going to be this. I'm giving you cash today, and we'll just won't pay you the check, you know? But so there's never been an instance where they ain't been paid. But there is instances where I forget to put payroll and it goes late. And then I just tell my accountant, put it through, but I'm handing them cash. So he'll put it through, he'll run the numbers, and then I'll go get cash, or she'll go get cash. Most likely she's going to get it. She does a lot, like way too much, really. But
I don't mind doing it.
no.
Yeah, that's when Steve's always holding that chair down. So
Yeah,
well,
holding it down.
yeah,
Holding
it
it
does.
down.
That does happen a lot. That there
does
is
happen
that.
a lot. Well, I mean, you know, and the captain, of course, when y'all came out, you met the captain. I was sitting there talking to him, and he said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to fly to Ohio and Steve and Laura and the kids." And he said, "Really?" He said, "How's he doing now?" And so I told him, and he just stared at me, he said that's really awesome. He said I'm really proud of him. He said those guys. He said it's good to know you ain't hanging out with dumb people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was, he asked all the time how the boys are and what they're doing and stuff like that. So, y'all definitely
We'd come
made an
out a
impression.
lot more often if
We weren't
if
so
we-
far.
Yeah, like I got a lot of people that want us to go to the dunes and stuff, and it's like 27-hour drive, and I'm like, bro, by the time I drive there, I should
But
have
we'll
done
have to
been
go
back.
back. Yeah.
It sucks, but until I can find somebody that I can trust to fill in our position for a week, we're not going
but
far.
I think at some point you'll have to do like what Roman Atwood and Matt and those guys do.
Yeah.
You'll just have to ship your stuff and then send it to somebody you trust and then fly
Yeah.
Just
down
go
there
that-
because that'd be the only way you could pull it off. I mean, you can't run off and leave for that long anymore.
You know, 7 hours about max that we're able to travel. And you go down, so we leave on a Friday, we drive 7 hours, we camp a night, 2 nights, and then we drive 7 hours back. It's doable. We can do that. It's tough, but we do it. We've done it. I typically 4 hours and under. So it sucks, but until I get this business to a point where it can run itself without falling on its face, which it can now, but I have trust issues.
I don't blame you.
So-
I don't trust anybody. So
No.
I mean, you have to look out for your best.
Right. And as I trust my employees. Tiffany, she knows how to manage the inventory and stuff. The thing that we have the hardest part with is the customer service where people they have technical questions. You got to have somebody who knows parts and stuff. Laura didn't know a stinking thing. She couldn't tell you what a brake caliper was.
No,
bro.
but when I was listening to her the other day when she was in there on the phone, 'cause she spent a lot of time on the phone.
Oh yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
every
time.
minute of the
Laura-
day.
A lot of time.
Laura knows her shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still have.
You have to get out in the weeds before she's like, oh, hang on, let me go get Steve. But,
Yeah.
you know, for the vast majority of everybody that calls now, Laura knows. She knows exactly. Or she'll come out there and go, you talk to him because he did this. And I already know I'm not dealing
Yeah.
with it. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's impressive. And, I mean, I laugh when I think about it because, I mean, you know, it was just a random comment one day on a video,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And it came this far.
Y'all have made it this far. I mean, it's just, it's phenomenal. And for anybody to say you can't, well,
You can.
You
can.
really can.
We
You
grew
know.
this business. We have 0 loans.
Mm-hmm.
All of our stuff is paid for, I think, except for the XL. I think I still pay on that
In the house.
and the house.
Yes,
and
but-
my truck and her truck.
Yes, but your cash exceeds your debt.
It does. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could pay everything
mean,
off tomorrow.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
be able to.
Yeah.
And still have money left over to do whatever you
Yeah.
wanted. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not really a fair assessment
It's
anymore.
it's not, but we
Yeah.
still do have loans. But the point I was getting at is I don't have loans for stuff on my inventory. That stuff I pay for it. I own it. It's mine. I don't got banks coming in
Yep.
here checking inventory. I own everything, and we don't have. I've had a lot of people reach out, like investors. You looking for an investor? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. It's called My Pocket.
That's right. Well, and that's funny that you say that because there's a podcast, Ice Coffee Hire. It's got Caleb Hammer on there. He does financial audit or whatever, and he was on that podcast, and they were doing his finances. You know how these guys like to do each other's finances, and he's like, well, you know, I got nervous and sold 10% of my channel.
No, never.
And
never.
the
No.
whole room got quiet.
Oh, I bet.
Like, what? He was like, well, back then I sold it, 10% for $25,000 because I thought I'd have a cushion. And I mean, you could just feel the tension in the room. It was
Never.
like, why would you even sell any of your IP to anybody?
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. There's been times where I told Laura, it would be nice to have a financial backer, and every time I think about it, and then every time I think about how they're gonna sit back and do nothing,
Yep.
and want 20% of everything, it becomes null and void at that moment. And I don't even think about it no more.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's one of those things. I started this business one product at a time. You know, with cheaper, like lower cost products, and then I worked my way up to the big dogs, and we didn't need a bank to do it. I made some sacrifices. You know?
For sure. There's no gain without
Right.
sacrifices.
Right. And, you know, but we went to get eyeglasses the other day.
Yeah.
I got 2 pairs of eyeglasses. My boy got 2 pairs. And what did I use? My card, my card, my debit card.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have insurance.
And it wasn't that long ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't have done it.
We wouldn't have
Couldn't
been
have
able
done
to. No.
And I mean, and that's a basic life necessity.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have been at the Walmart looking at $100 frames, buy one get one
Yeah.
free. And
Mhm.
can we put his lenses in
Yeah.
the free
Yeah,
frames?
exactly.
Trying to get by.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'd have been, you know how that lady in there said, buy one, get one free? I'd have been like, well, I'll buy one. Can my kid get the free one?
yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause you'd
exactly.
have
That
had-
would have been him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
would have
mean,
been me
Yeah.
we
all
just-
day.
Yeah.
And I completely get it. Like, I'm not knocking anybody who
No,
has to do that.
no.
We were there.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
We've done that. I'm not knocking it. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody okay, I'm a lion. I was about to say not everybody has the opportunity that we had, but
They do.
I thought that same exact way until I learned that we all have the same opportunities.
Sometimes you have to make them yourself.
Sometimes,
do.
like you, Eddie, you've been in the same exact position,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
yeah.
look at where you're at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We do all right
exactly.
now. We do all right now.
Yeah.
I like to credit that to trying to be a better person than I was 10 years
Well,
ago.
that always
So-
helps.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
always helps.
So I like to credit it to that.
Mhm.
But I mean, you know, outside perspective, I mean, I think it's an incredible story because, like I said, I don't own side by sides. I mean, they're cool. I like to rake Steves. That's my job. But they're fun, and you know, being around that stuff is great fun. I can't see spending tens of thousands of dollars for a hobby. I mean, it's just not me.
So-
I spend all of my money on
Yeah.
animals and farming, so
Yes.
that's my
Oh, yeah.
hobby. But from the outside looking in, I'm thinking, man, yeah, you're selling some clutch kits, Steve, but geez, you know, you're not. And then all of a sudden, he was like, these people are arguing with him. And I'm like, so I cost, just how many damn clutch kits do you sell, Steve? And he told me, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
really? And he's like, yeah.
I sell
said,
way
"You're not-"
more than anybody else.
I said, you're not yanking my chain? And he's like, no. He's like, dude, you wouldn't believe it. He said, I can't believe
I
it.
showed you proof of my bank
Mhm.
account today.
Yeah. I mean, I believed you all along, but, you know, and then.
But
of
the
course-
people that don't.
Right. I mean, because, you know, I have bad financial habits for a lot of years.
Me too.
So,
We have to.
you know, the first thing I thought was, well, shit, so I hope Steve's got some of that money put away. I hope he's
Oh,
doing.
yeah.
Because all I see, you know, look what Steve bought. And then Steve
Oh,
bought.
yeah.
And then
That's-
Steve
yeah.
bought. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Steve bought. And I'm thinking, Steve, put some money away. And
Uh-huh.
of course, I had no clue the volume to do. I mean, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Well,
know.
as you was here all day yesterday, because
Yeah.
you had flew in on Thursday, so you was here a little bit Thursday, not much,
Yep.
Not by much, yeah.
and
Yeah.
then all day Friday you were here,
Yeah.
and you got to see
Yeah, it's impressive.
what people don't see.
Yeah, and it's impressive. And like I said, from 125,000 subscribers to millions of dollars a year in volume
Yeah,
and revenue,
yeah.
you know, it doesn't take a massive change.
I'm hoping I
No.
don't lose subscribers over this, but
Well,
I'm being open
well,
with
no.
things.
I can't see that anybody judge you for it.
Well-
y'all are very humble and,
Mhm.
I mean, live well within your means. I mean,
I could have a
Dave Ramsey would be impressed. We'll
Yeah.
put it that way.
yeah, and you know the only reason I'm even kind of spilling these beans is hopefully it'll be inspirational
For other
other
people.
people who are in that time of life that think that they can't do it.
Right.
I thought that I couldn't do it. I don't want to say I thought I couldn't do it. I didn't expect it.
No,
thought-
I think you wanted to do it.
Yeah,
You just didn't believe
Yeah.
that you would be successful because
Yeah.
you didn't believe in you.
I-
You didn't have that.
I believed
You
in
were
me.
like,
I just
think I
didn't.
can get there. I
Yeah.
think I can get there. But
I
then
believed that it was possible. I just didn't believe it was possible for me.
Mm-hmm.
you know, you see all these other businesses and these YouTubers, and you have. I ain't gonna lie to you. There was a business, not no more. I don't even think it's around. But when I first was starting, and we were still on the struggle train, not bad, but we were, you know, doing just a hair better than what we were when we were working. There was a small business that wasn't doing that well, and I made $500 that week. Me and her took all 500 of that dollars and spent it at that business, and didn't, you know, it gets to you a little bit. You try and help people, you know.
Right, but you know, I always felt like if you pay it forward, and you pay it forward for the right reasons,
Yeah,
in the right manner. If you broke as a joke, and you give money to somebody to cover your rent while you're not being covered, you ain't help nobody.
Right.
Exactly.
But if you have a little extra and you can give it away and do good for other people, we've always had it come back way more than we ever gave.
It's wonderful.
I
when you
think
can do that.
that guy, wasn't he dealing with some, I don't know, his
He had a lot
girlfriend
of
or
issues
something
going on
had
or
some
something.
issues,
Yes.
and it was just a small business. Like, you know, he's not making.
A ton.
He probably just making enough to eat and keep the lights on. And if you're comfortable with that, you're comfortable with that. But there was some slow time, and it wasn't working out for him. And he, you know, we were in there talking to him because one of our employees actually turned us on to the place, and she was like, "Yeah, I go in there," and so I went up there and talked to him. And I didn't put any of this on video or anything, not until now. This is years ago.
Right.
And I walked in, and he's like, I'm making enough to like get here every day and pay my rent. He goes, but I'm running out of inventory. He's like, I got a warehouse full of inventory, and he's like, it's just getting lower and lower, and I'm living on that. You can't live on the same inventory for very long.
No.
We could only live on the same inventory for about 24 hours. That whole shelf, you see all them filters over there, they'll be gone on Monday, and new
It'll
shipments
last
are
long.
arriving every day. But no thought about it, dude. I was like, all my bills are paid. I got jobs coming in. We spent $500 on random crap in a store that we didn't even need. I bet you it's still in boxes.
We have a bulk number of stuff that we bought from him that's out in our one shed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bought 20-some freaking sprinklers. Anyway, we're going to do any giveaways this summer.
We'll give out some sprinklers.
Giving away sprinklers.
We have a ton of them.
I bought a bunch of sprinklers.
R.N.G. Performance, make your own mud hole kit.
Yes.
Yeah. Make your own model kit.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, there's
Grow your own mud cricket.
Yes.
Yeah, there's, I don't know, there's 20, 30, maybe even
There's a
40.
lot of them.
I don't know.
I gave a couple away, you know, but
yeah,
still got a ton.
she gave some away to family and friends, and
We still got them.
you know what, dude? It makes me feel good that even though I was doing kind of, I don't want to say bad at the time, but we were
A little better than what we were.
struggle train,
Yeah.
and I was still able to help somebody, you know, because had it have been when I was still working my job, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
No, but you had to
So-
give a little to get a little.
Well, you know what, man? I feel like God recognizes and pays it to people who deserve it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. I think that if you're doing your best, and you know, he don't ask a whole lot anyway, but if you're doing your best, I think it comes pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, life gets
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always gonna have struggles, and we're all
Always.
gonna
Oh, yeah.
ride.
Always.
I get in the front seat of the struggle bus frequently, so it's not
Definitely.
Like,
It's
not
not
Absolutely.
always peaches and cream.
No,
Never.
Not always peaches and cream. I'll be honest with you though, we're not stressed out at all ever. Not anymore. We were, but we don't.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't have to worry because
Do you,
if
do you
we-
worry you'll become complacent that you won't do what you need to do, and then other things will suffer for it?
no, because every day I'm on everything I got to do. Well, I think you seen that yesterday. I come in early. As a matter of fact, I started working in my lazy boy at home before I left and got here. Me and you were at the Waffle House at 7:30.
Yeah.
So
Is that like a record time for him?
No,
That's pretty good.
I usually
but-
leave at 8
Yeah.
Yeah.
to come here, but since we were going to the Waffle House, 7:30, a little bit earlier. But normally my routine is I leave the house at 8. I'm here by 8:15. I'm on that computer and answering emails and stuff like that. And then, if I can film a video, I'll film a video. And then in between filming a video, I got, hey, honey. I got, hey, Steve, hey, Steve, hey, Steve, hey, Steve, hey, honey, hey, Steve, hey, Steve. So it'll take me 6 hours to film a 5-minute clip. And then, on top of that, you got customers that come through the door. So sometimes that's why it takes me a lot longer now to film videos. And that's why nobody sees the volume of videos that I used to do.
But yeah, you used to crank them out.
Crank them
a
out, dude,
lot.
especially when I was starting. Now, maybe one full video every 2 weeks. I'd like to do more, but I think these podcasts, because these are easy to film.
But they're easier to film.
Easier. They're harder to edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to give up some time either place. But
Yeah. But I
But-
could work on this all day long in between. We could film a podcast in the afternoon, and then the next day I can, in between everybody, I can edit 5-minute section here. So it takes me a week to put out one. And then, we'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
Right.
We figured it out this far.
So we've got the shop, we've got the cars, we've got the cash exceeds our debt. The kids are doing good. Got a couple of people working here. So where are we going? What's next?
All the way to the top.
Well, you're pretty close to the top of the game in the clutch market, I'd say.
We are the
I
top of the
don't-
game.
I don't know anybody that can supersede you right now.
Nobody.
Maybe if China opened a direct pipeline or
They
something.
better.
Yeah, we don't want that.
They better step up their game if they
And I
want.
mean, they don't make your clutch kit. I don't even
No.
misinterpret that. But
No, our stuff is made here in the USA. And that's the one thing that really bothers me about one of my competitors. They tell people that, number one, they tell people that we copy their stuff. Well, Eddie, I showed you their stuff, and I showed you our
well,
stuff
I
yesterday.
know when you first started working on that y'all played with several different models and pitches and angles and everything else. So I don't question that.
No, right.
Wholeheartedly.
Well,
no.
that and you seen our stuff don't look like yours
No.
And the
at
way-
all. So if it was a copy, what is a copy, Eddie? It's a copy.
Well, yeah, it's a duplicate.
How do you copy and make it look different? You don't.
Well,
And you were lucky to get in contact with Bill Moore, too.
Yeah,
Bill has been awesome.
Bill and I, a lot of people get confused about Bill and I. Bill's a big snowmobile guru.
For years.
For years. So he's been building clutch helixes and stuff for 50 years or whatever for snowmobiles. And I had been doing this way longer than I didn't know who Bill was. I'm not a snowmobile
We had no
guy.
idea.
I ain't got nothing against snowmobiles. we're in Ohio. What am I going to do? Look at it?
well, you might get to ride it once a year.
Runs,
Yeah.
So I just never gotten into it because I don't want a 15K machine sitting in my garage. I got plenty of those. But Bill, one of my fans, they got my primary clutch kit. And at the time, nobody was making helixes for the CF Motos. And I was looking for somebody to make them. And one of my fans, who still is a very avid customer and fan, thank you, you know who you are. They're like, hey, I got this guy you need to meet. So I called Bill, or he called me, one of the two. I don't remember. This was a long time ago. Bill's like, listen, he goes, I've been working on a helix. And I'm like, really? He's like, but I have a problem. And I said, what's that? He goes, I don't do anything with ATVs. I said, you got a helix? Yeah. He's like, I have a 600 and an 800 side by side. And he goes, the clutching sucked. So anyway,
part?
I had the spring stuff down. Like the springs were down before I ever met him. And then he's like, yeah, I worked on this helix. He's like, maybe we could work together. So he sends me out this helix. And I didn't like it. And I was like, hey, Bill. And he's like, well, I told you it was a prototype. I said, I know. you sent it to me for my input, right? And he's like, yeah. And I said, because so Bill he's got snowmobile on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Snowmobile was a little bit opposite. So he built a snowmobile helix for an ATV side-by-side. So I put him in the right direction. Dude does awesome work.
Awesome.
We're great friends. Met him once in life. You know, he came here. So I told him, I was like, this is the direction we need to go. And when I got him in that direction, we've been making the best helixes ever since. And it's just, I'm an ATV guy. He's a snowmobile guy. But clutching is clutching. It's just how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he knew what he had to do. He just didn't know that we had to do it in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
As soon as we flipped it into reverse, it worked. And then we made tweaks. And then I showed you all the spring binding our competitors' clutches have. And I showed you how ours don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Bill and I spent, how many nights was I out in that shop till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning?
A lot of nights.
Hand cutting and
just trying to figure out what you guys can do.
Yeah, we're trying to make a prototype so I can send it to our machinist, or I should say, send it to Bill and he send it to the machinist. Because Bill throw his twist on it, I put my twist on it. Bill and I are partners. We're not business partners, but we're partners. Everything we do is together, and we have that handshake. We don't have contracts with each other. We have that handshake, and so I perfected the springs, and then he perfected the helix, and then Bill's like, listen, he goes, I make springs too, and I was like, oh, so now Bill makes all my springs. They're my springs, and he makes his springs. So he's got some springs full 100% his design. I have springs that are full 100% my design, and we have springs that are a collaboration between the two. And when I say that, we'll take a spring that he did and a spring that I did, and we change it, and we have one in between. That's what separates us from everybody else, because we're constantly testing. I couldn't tell you another clutch tuner that's out there till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up their neighbors.
Most of these guys are just hawking parts that they got from whoever they bought it from. Or
Exactly.
Working. And some of these guys are working with guys across the pond that are shipping.
Yeah.
Not exactly engineered clutch parts across the.
No.
And I mean.
No.
But it works kind of.
Kinda.
It works kind of, independent on. And a lot of that goes to, if you're a Ford guy, you're usually a Ford guy. If you're a Chevy guy, you're a Chevy guy.
Just
you're a
kinda
Dodge guy,
depends.
you're a Dodge guy. So I think a lot of that has to do with, if they said it, there's gold. So.
Well, you have that. And then you have guys who, so we've had gained a wide range, not big number of dealers that used to sell competitors. And when I say competitors, there's a few competitors out there.
Not just
I'm
one.
not just pinpointing
there's
one.
other
so
competitors out there.
don't put your imagination in the bucket and
'Cause
think you
people
know
will.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
They will.
But over the course of the last few years, there's been dealers that sold nothing but one of our competitors, and then all of a sudden you have a customer that ordered a kit from us, walks into this deal, and I'm telling you, this is like the straight up story, same story they all give us. It's real, like on it. You get a customer who don't want X competitor's clutch kit, and they order a clutch kit from us. They get it in the mail, and then they don't know how to put it in, so they have their local dealer put it in. Local dealer puts in our clutch kit, they drive it, and then they're in my inbox.
But that's good.
Yeah. And so you have dealer technicians who are driving both. I had one dealer that they put XXX kit in because that's the one that they sold. And then customer brought mine. They put mine in. And then they all took turns driving both of them. And they were like, yeah, yours is smoother. It puts better power to the ground. And one dealer, they sent me a video of them drag racing in the parking lot. And mine, here's XXX, here's mine. Yeah.
You've done, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. But I don't stop until my stuff is perfected. I don't sell this one spring for 20 years. I keep Bill and I'm not taking all the credit here. Bill and I, I'll tell Bill, listen, dude, I want to change this, and he'll go, no, I don't think. And
They'll
I'm
be
like,
bickering. They'll
Bill,
go back and forth.
and he's like, do you want to argue with me? And I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you, I want to change this. And he's like, no, I think we should change it to this. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, good idea. So their two heads are way better than one because
for sure.
I'll have something thought out and then I'll say it to him and then he'll think about it and then he'll bring up and vice versa here. And then we end up on something, and then sometimes that something ends up in the trash, and sometimes it don't.
Right.
I got boxes after boxes of springs that we turned into Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
Those are expensive Christmas ornaments.
Yes.
So.
Yep. So, what's the next one? I mean, where are we doing more trail rides this year? Or are we?
Yeah.
Are we got more products in development? We got.
So
Fit in the
we're always
somewhere.
we're always working on products. I got some bad to the bone stuff coming. Some know, some don't. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I do working on some stuff, and as you know, I'm one guy, so I can only do so much in a day, and there's not enough days and hours.
Mm-hmm.
So. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of traveling and riding this year. Mines and Meadows is a big part of where we like to do events. Awesome park. The owner is freaking awesome. So they can check out the events tab at our website. So they can find those. But I don't know. She's thinking about going to Kentucky.
You always mess it up.
Yeah, I did. I messed it up. Tennessee. Sorry.
It's close.
Same
it
thing.
is close. He always says Kentucky.
It's the same thing.
Where are you going to Tennessee for?
I just want to go.
She just wants to go.
I don't even care if we ride. I don't care. I just want to go to Tennessee.
I think
take her down Bar Run.
I'm gonna take her to the Kentucky border, drop her off, then I'm gonna go to Tennessee and ride.
Yeah, there's lots of parks.
Yeah,
There's lots of parks in Tennessee.
yeah.
Yeah.
She don't care. We could go park in the Walmart parking lot. She'd be happy because we're there.
That's my wife.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
we could live in a
beautiful.
dirt floor house, so she wouldn't care.
See?
I mean,
Yeah.
So, yep.
we just get by just fine. Just
Exactly.
fine every day. Well, I think it's a true story of broke to no joke.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. And
Yep.
I think
I've been broke all my life.
I'm excited to see what comes next because this is, being here and seeing it and, between dynos and plasma tables and machines and turning motorcycles into three-wheelers and all the other thing. And there's some big fancy wheels and rims down there. And so I'm excited to see what comes next and what the new, and of course these machines are always changing. So there'll be some new,
Oh, yeah.
he'll have one with power windows, heating and air. Even though he says he won't.
No,
eventually he will get there.
I don't know. Maybe when I'm your age.
Yeah, don't call me old, Steve.
You know what, Eddie? You see the amount of toys I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I find myself a lot of times riding the four-wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The side-by-side makes me want to take a nap sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I get on the four-wheeler, I go. She's a side-by-side person.
Maybe that's that four-wheeler brings out that childhood youth in you that,
Mm-hmm.
without the cage and
I think so.
the dirt and the mud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Sometimes I just got to learn how to chill it out, though.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Well, you got enough parts, you can fix it now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can fix the four-wheeler, but we can't fix me.
No, we can't. We can't
So-
replace you.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and
Well, Steve, tell them where they can find you and where they can go to get the best side by
if they're seeing this, they know where to find us. But
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
yeah, I might even think about doing some Twitter X stuff or
Yeah,
something.
we were
whatever.
talking about that the other night. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Maybe
even
we
know
can
nothing
bring
about it.
some normalcy to the hostility over there.
Maybe.
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, the thing is, I'm so busy trying to keep up with these platforms is really hard.
Yeah, one
You
of
know?
these days I'll hire you a social media person.
Yeah, one of these days we need to interview Laura about how she left her side by side in the woods.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
That's for another story.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell them where you are on YouTube. Tell 'em
Yep,
where you are on
R.N.G
Facebook.
Performance on YouTube, rngperformance.net for all your parts and accessories and needs. If you want to support awesome people with awesome employees at a badass shop, come support us. 330-806-0728, and you'll get to talk to Laura over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we appreciate all of you. We appreciate everything that you guys have all done for us and supported us. If you would, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, click that dinger so you can hear when we drop a new anything, new videos, new. I think it does it for shorts too. Leave us a comment down there. Let us know what you think about our story and everything. Eddie kind of talked me into it because I don't really put our personal stuff all out there all like that.
No, I think it's a good story for people to hear.
But
I mean,
Eddie thinks it'd be beneficial so people could hear how you can go from nothing to something without money.
that's
Yeah.
right.
'Cause that's what we
for
did.
sure didn't have it.
No,
Yeah.
no, I saved up for how long to be able to come to your house?
Oh, it was almost a year.
Yeah,
It was almost
saved
a
up a year to spend $600 in gas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's real. And
Yeah.
you know what, man? I hear a lot of people just, I don't know. I think that they just think nothing good happens to them. But I thought that same exact way. I think you did too.
Oh yeah, but you can't change nothing if you don't do anything.
Yeah, and that's
the
the thing.
thing.
That's what we did. We took that risk and it worked.
Yep. You
Can't
had
change.
to.
And you know what I have learned over the years? Where there's risk, where there's risk, there's always reward.
Mm-hmm.
I did learn that.
If you put the work in.
Yeah, you can't just make a New Year's resolution and sit on the couch.
That's
No.
right. You
gotta
can
put the work
visualize
into
it
it.
being as big as you
You have
want
to
it
see it
be.
in your head.
Yep.
Don't even draw it out on paper. People tell you draw it out on paper. Don't do it. Draw it out in your mind because it's on your mind when you do that. You
Yeah.
think about it. My goal, and we'll get there with the help of all of you. My goal is a minimum of a 300 to 500 acre riding park with a campground, and my goal for that is our parts store. We want to do like an on-site restaurant. Me and her talk about this like, I don't know,
All the time?
4, 5, 10, 100 times a week.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We need to get with Matt and see if we can buy his resort.
Mm-hmm.
It's even got a massive gun range on it.
We like
that'd
that
be
too.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It'd be nice. We're saving our pennies, man. We may get there, we may never get there. I don't know, but we got
Just
here,
one
so
of those
everything's
things,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Through God, all things are possible.
That's right.
That's right.
All
Well,
right,
I think
Steve, well, thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
All right.
All
Peace
right.
out and God bless, guys.
Bye.
See you in the next one.
This episode is sponsored by R.N.G. Performance. If you want to buy the best motherfucking parts on the market, call RNG.net.
No.
Okay, let's try again. If you want to build a Mud Cricket Panty Dropper 1000, call RNG Performance today.
No. Eddie, what are you new?
Okay.
We won't sell any parts talking like that.
I know. Yeah. Okay, Steve.
I think Eddie's just excited. I don't know. He's got this
That's
mud
right.
cricket thing going on.
I'm famous, Steve. Leave me alone. If you need the best parts for your side-by-side four-wheeler or dirt bike, shop RNGperformance.net. That's RNGperformance.net, home of your favorite clutch kit. If you need parts, they got parts. They got belts, clutches, light bars, air filter, oil change kits. If you don't buy your parts from RNG Performance, you ain't shit.
No. Do I have to show you how it's done?
Yeah, Steve, you think you do better? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve. Brain went fast.
Yeah, gone. If you want America's #1 CF Moto clutch kit for your ATV, UTV, side-by-side, U-Force, Z-Force, C-Force, don't matter what you got. It don't matter the force. www.rngperformance.net. we've got the best clutch kits. And not only that, but we also have OEM parts. We got our own aftermarket belts, best belt in the world. Definitely get that. We also have ECU tunes.